Welcome everyone to the July 14th Climate Protection Work Group meeting. We'll start with our land acknowledgement. And on Tuesday, July 14th, we acknowledge that this sacred land on which Smiths Falls is now located has been the site of human activity for over 10,000 years and is rich in Indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We're grateful to the Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and water in order that we might meet here today. We're also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in the making of the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smiths Falls. We're mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawing on the strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace and friendship, being mindful of generations to come. We have full attendance today, and I'd like to welcome Mallory, who's working with the town since April on a full-time basis, and she's going to be auditing today's meeting. So looking at that, I'm going to seek a motion to approve the agenda as circulated. Moved by Steve, seconded by Nate. Any changes? No. All in favor? That's carried. And the minutes of June the 9th. Again, a motion to approve the minutes of the June 9th meeting. Moved by Nate. You weren't there, Steve. So seconded by Mayor Panko. Anybody notice any changes or errors, omissions? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor of the minutes? Approved. Thank you. Carried. And as you know, we have a responsibility to declare a monetary interest if we have one. And I'm not seeing anybody doing that right now. We have no priority issues. And we're moving right to Richard, who's going to talk about the survey results on our project. Over to you, Richard. Thank you.
Okay, I guess we can talk about that first. So we had a survey that was put ahead of our open house that was going for 3 weeks. And we only had a small sample, have 10 responses. So we won't really call this statistically relevant per se, but it just kind of show a little bit about what people are thinking for those who had an opportunity to provide feedback.
Right.
So for people who had said that most people already are doing climate action, which I think is pretty common to hear with people who are coming to the event anyways, or people who are coming to our public engagement, they're really doing some form of climate action in their eyes. And the second question was looking at the town's confidence in doing some climate action, and there seems to be not a strong confidence in the town instead of doing things. And I think that has to do with the fact that we haven't really done anything publicly yet. The climate action plan hasn't been finalized. We haven't announced any initiatives or any sort of implementation that we're rolling out. So far the town hasn't seen anything in the way of any sort of public initiative besides having an open house. So I think that could be a reason why there hasn't been a strong sense of leadership yet, because apart from doing things in respect to operations and day-to-day activities, the messaging isn't really so clear in terms of what our focus is yet. So I think the climate action plan would sort of give us that more of a public presence that we actually have something to go forward with and give us some direction. And the third question was looking at sort of goals, areas that the town could focus on, and a lot of it was just local partnerships and community action, protecting natural spaces, and improving transportation, which I think are a big three in terms of what we hear a lot of. So that really isn't so much insofar as surprising in terms of the feedback, but at least it gives us a direction that we're going on the right path in terms of our recommendations.
Disappointing response.
True, but it's the reality, if I'm being honest. It is something we have to acknowledge.
Plant more trees. That's
Everyone helps.
We have our work cut out for us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a matter of people don't understand what the town does, or we're not doing enough. It's hard to really pin down exactly where that lies. I think both things can be true in some respect.
Two things.
Sue.
So when I look at the responses to question 3, part of what I see there is affirmation that Smith Falls is no different than the rest of the country in terms of understanding that it's the burning of fossil fuels that causes climate change, right? Because if there was greater understanding of that, I would expect the last one, improving energy efficiency, to rank higher.
Right, it's true.
But if people don't understand that using natural gas to heat their homes is a contributor to climate change, then, how do we expect them to go further, right? The other thing is, I'm intrigued to understand, in terms of other consultations that the town does, like how does this rank? Where do you get high response? What do people in the town respond to? And I'm not talking social media. I am on some of the Smith Falls social media. Yeah.
We do well in the budget time. Like there's well over 100 or 200 people get a tax bill and they want to comment on how well or not well we're spending the money.
Right.
Overall, I would say not a lot of broad, representation of the community. It's you get a couple hundred, probably high. These service the board is doing a survey to be launched today.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about that too.
Okay.
It's around to you.
And it, so we'll see what kind of response we get with it. A lot of interest in policing, so we'll see if that does attract more. Last time, again, there was a fair amount of feedback on that. So maybe kind of topic. How long it stays out there, and that's previous experience. It's, you get out there for career. Overall, public meetings had very good people.
Yeah.
The mayor's hosted a barbecue up at Highland Park for that neighborhood because we wanted to hear from them. And they came out, we heard,
Okay.
we had 100 families coming in talking about what they wanted to see in their park. And so that was really, we went right to the source,
Food is
food, and it was set up in a very non-threatening.
Is that captured?
But it does some different.
Are the responses captured?
right.
Yeah, it was all captured.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a few years ago now, but
Yeah,
that was a
that's-
very more community engagement.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, and I'm sorry, but it makes me think that, number one, we should leave the survey open, right?
Okay.
Post again to our email list, say that we still are interested in hearing back from people. And let's consider how we might attach the climate issue to some of the other work that's happening then.
Nate, I'm going to go to Peter. He's had his hand up for a little bit. Peter, first off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm encouraged by the first respondent that people like to have more community participation and so on, and I think that also could be a way that we could address the issue that Sue referred to, that people really don't have a good understanding of the effect of fossil fuel. I attended a 3-hour workshop called Climate Fresh. It's spelled as FRESK. It is a workshop, a 3-hour workshop that has now been attended by over 2 million people worldwide. And we actually have 2 people now from the round table who has been trained as facilitators. That I would suggest perhaps the Climate Prevention Committee should actually invest 3 hours to have a first-hand experience and see how effective. My personal observation was that this is a workshop with 42 cards. They will hand out different cards at different times. The first hour was basically, building up with knowledge, and from that knowledge there, people in the group start to collaborate. How do we address that? Then the last the last hour actually appeals to people's heart. What is that is important? How is that you can do that? What is that you can do? And I feel that this type of approach will actually get our community working together, because I see a whole lot of people passionate about making Smith Falls their home and a better home. And we have we have this sort of exposure, we can definitely get more people on board as to the reason why climate change is important and what is it that they can themselves do to it. So I just like to put that forward, that the Climate Fish workshop would be one that can help us achieve our goals of greater participation and greater understanding. Thank you.
Peter. You have a comment, or is it just on Sue's idea that we keep the survey open? Is there a thoughting, or is there any reason we shouldn't? I'm just on that topic, then I'll come back to you.
My comment's kind of on that topic.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you said at the beginning that this isn't particularly statistically significant because it's only 10 people. And I guess I would definitely start there, that because it's only 10 people, I don't think we need to read too much into it. Like, it's 10 people. It could, it could be that if we did 100 people or 1,000 people, we'd get completely different data out of it. So I'd be inclined to not read too much into it. Mm-hmm. In terms of getting data that's meaningful, pulling it from an event based on climate change that's a self-selected sample of people, so it's also kind of junk data. Like, it's still interesting, but the thing that would be really meaningful is if we could do like a more credible polling type thing. And maybe that occurs on social media, maybe it occurs in other venues, but I think the key thing is for it to not be targeting a specific event, because that's always a self-selected group of people. Like, we need it to be a representative sample of the population. But there's just through the process that we've gone through in developing these policies and whatnot, a bunch of interesting questions have emerged in terms of what kind of level of tree canopy coverage do people actually want? How much money would they like to see spent on adaptation versus mitigation? Things I'd be fascinated to even know what percentage of people in town believe climate change is something we should be dealing with at all. And I think particularly as this moves into a political discussion in terms of how much money we should actually be allocating towards these issues and what should we be prioritizing, I think it'd be really helpful to try to do a more robust polling that's credible.
Okay. So for the climate action plan, the idea was that the survey would sort of kind of point to what the plan would sort of say, suggesting, sort of validating the assumption that these climate actions have merit. So if we're looking at extending the survey, what would be the end goal? Was it just be to provide more data to the public that this is an interest, or because we wouldn't be using it to revise the plan in any way unless we're looking at just implementation now? So the survey is going to do what specifically? That would be the next goal for me, clarifying that question.
Sorry, ideally it's going to continue to engage people, because right now we don't have anything out there in front of people.
That's right.
So that's one. And if we continue to get some data back, then it informs us. It doesn't necessarily inform any changes to the plan at this point.
Right.
But nothing wrong with capturing comments in particular, right? Like, that's some of the stuff that I find the most useful. Mm-hmm. Not just the data, but the
feedback,
comment.
Yeah, I think once the climate action plan is approved and circulated, very few, if any, will read the whole thing. But if we have a clear summary that's posted and look for feedback at that time as well.
Okay.
Not that we need endorsement or feedback. I think it's a matter of trying to communicate and see if people are actually paying attention and if they're supportive of the actions that. So we're calling it a plan, but really the part
part of it where we actually lay out a plan hasn't really occurred yet. What we're really talking about is a series of goals now. And then after those goals are passed through this council, the next council is going to inherit a bunch of very difficult to achieve goals, and they're going to have to make actual decisions in terms of where spending. And that's the phase that where we can actually do some significant movement on this issue. And that's where I think polling will be very helpful.
Yeah, like at that point, that's the future. That's like milestone for implementation. I'm not necessarily sure how we would develop a strategy. That'd be something we'd have to sit down and put our heads together. So we can discuss it at the point. But after the adoption, yeah, we'd have to figure out how we'll implement it. I know that the committee's role won't change. This will be an advisory committee to council, so we can still advise in our same capacity. But whether council sits down and says, okay, let's make a decision today, I'd love to see how the process unfolds, but.
And it brings up a good point. The next council may say, we don't need a climate protection work group. We need a different kind to bring this plan alive. Maybe it's a different approach.
Yep.
Who knows? But just to wrap up on whether we need an open, just for information, it's what Sue is saying.
Yes, and that's okay.
Change this. I don't have any problem with that.
That's okay. I can make you publicize it, and we'll keep pushing this, and we'll see what we get. I'll give you updates at the end of this fall, for example, if anything has changed. Yeah.
So we've all been sent this or offered this. This is going to council now. Is that Richard?
So the goal is that if you guys are looking at still providing feedback and comments, you have to give it to me by Friday, the 17th, because I'm looking at going to council for the 27th. So if you have any final comments on the plan or anything you'd like to see that has not been addressed or clarified, this is the one time, and then it will go to council, and council will give me an opportunity to either adopt it or to do something else, but I hope they do adopt it.
There is a section on reporting and reporting structure and reporting and monitoring.
Yep.
Are we staying, is this committee silent on advice to council on how to set that up, or are we just, at this point, do we have any advice for them?
So the plan recognizes that the committee will be advisory to council. It doesn't give the committee any more powers. The committee will still function as it's doing currently right now. And the other part of the plan is that it's being reviewed by the incoming council. So those are the only two things we have in terms of ensuring that the plan is revised, and like the committee still has an advisory role. If you think there needs to be more details about what the committee can do, maybe the mandate will have to change, but I don't know if we have to discuss the details in the plan itself.
Yeah, I think I'll just take another look at our terms of reference, and you're right. Let's say committees here continue to advise council until the end of this term, and then
I would recommend we amend our mandate to do more implementation things, because we do a lot more like workshop and engagement. So that's still true, but we want to be pushing the envelope in terms of like a specific climate action we want to see take place, such as like talking to community partners and then bringing them to council, that kind of thing. And then we have to tweak the mandate a little bit. Otherwise, it was just giving advice, and that's fine. Like we don't have a line item for a budget, for example. Like it's just.
Let me just poll a group. Just one sec, Peter. I just want to know if Richard, I'll be talking about this as your chair on council on the 27th. Is one of the thoughts that I've polled the committee, and they're willing to offer up their time and energy going forward as we get into implementation. It won't bind you, but
For sure.
okay. Okay.
That's what I've been waiting for.
Okay,
It's the fun part.
All right. So I'll definitely say that. Now, Peter, you had your hand up.
Yeah, and I feel that go back to my last suggestion. If we even take a survey just for the last question after the climate fish workshop, and you will find that it's going to be a totally different percentage And that could also be new data that we can present to council that, after when people get more knowledgeable and get to know the cause and effect and so on, they will look at things differently. So what I'm proposing that the climate fish workshop actually could be a key part to cause a critical change for more effective climate action plan.
Yeah, I don't doubt it at all. It won't happen in the next couple of weeks. That's all.
What we could do is that we could even do that end of August or beginning in September, when this group, the working group, get exposed to that, then we can speak firsthand how effective or not it is. But that would be my suggestion that this committee should actually take part in that workshop and have a feeling whether we should go ahead with that or shut it down. My feeling is that it will change the perception of a lot of participants. Okay.
Can I suggest that on the August 11th, if we are meeting,
We just have to decide to meet. I'm not sure what would be on the agenda.
can I suggest that our next meeting, whether it's August 11th or not, that we put climate threats
Okay, sure.
on the agenda for discussion?
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
You get that? So you put up the final draft next steps, which was you'd like our thoughts by Friday, no later than.
Just some feedback. You did a great job on it. It's a very thorough, well done document. So, yeah, big kudos there. I guess the only kind of feedback comment, I have no idea what the position of many of the councillors are on this subject. So I have no idea how well received it's going to be in terms of do they support it or not. I'm sure they'll be impressed by the document, but in terms of does it get a thumbs up or thumbs down? And in the event that they ask questions about push-pull factors, why did we go with this number instead of this number? Have you thought about how is the plan as I read it kind of explains what we're proposing. It doesn't really describe context in terms for instance, the big question, the line items, what would it actually cost to achieve the goals we're talking about? And that, have you thought, do you have any kind of prepared answers should they ask critical questions like that?
I think some of the climate action, I have answers in terms of what would it look like if we're going to do it for real, for example. A lot of it would be based on into implementation. I don't really have a clear answer in terms of what will we start first, because a lot of it would depend on cost and availability, for example. For example, would a green be a good idea right now? It's cost intensive, but it has a long-term benefit. So it all depends on what you're really willing to spend the money on. Are we looking for short-term goals or long-term ones? That's a council decision. So the plan doesn't give councils ideas about how to make those decisions. It just says these are what these recommendations are. If we want to talk about deciding those things, then we'll have to pick and choose, and then we'll have an implementation strategy, and that's where the contextual details actually happen. Here is just really suggestions. It's hard to say which one would be the one that council would pick based on our plan, rather.
Yeah, I think it really it's the application of a climate lens and decision making of council going forward. So it's going to be largely project driven. So as an example, a solid handling study done for the wastewater treatment plant, and it is a $32 million investment, I believe. But the net cost to the municipality could be a third of that. We don't know whatever grants are achievable. But in the end, treating waste differently enables us to reduce our emissions as well as our energy consumption. That's through a project and redesigning how we're going to treat waste. The other one would be the construction of a new public works garage. So an old garage heated with natural gas, with no insulation. A new one is being constructed to today's standards with heat pumps, opportunity for solar on the roof, all the things that can be done as we move forward from a project-based standpoint. So it's hard to measure day-to-day activities. It's more, I think, a matter of if this is as usual the way it is today, and once we apply a climate lens to future decision making, that enables us to make the changes that are necessary.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's being opportunistic too. So I think one of the very first steps in the next iteration in terms of actions is to actually survey, determine funding that is out there right now, right?
Right.
Through FCM, Green Municipal Fund, through other, partnerships with community organizations like ours. There's all sorts of opportunities there. And so when funding presents itself, and can be in a substantial way, and it just takes the municipality or people in the municipality, let's not forget that, right? We're talking a municipal organization as such, but we're also talking the whole community,
Right.
to take advantage of those funding opportunities. But we need, as this committee, to be aware of all of those funding opportunities.
I guess that's where we can drive the agenda.
Stewards of the plan.
Yeah.
The implementation and leveraging of what's out there.
Say that funding's available, we want to put it together. That would be your thing, you know?
Well, and bringing those opportunities to other players in the community. Right? So, old adage, old. Climate change is a shared responsibility. We have to see it that way in the implementation. So we have to see we're engaging the EV sellers here, right? The small business community, that sort of thing. So we need to be connected to the sources of, or the information about the sources of funding, so that we can engage those others, not do it ourselves necessarily, but engage them and give them the assistance they need to be able to take an action.
Out in the communities where the lion's share.
Exactly.
The town has a
Yep.
small.
Yep.
We have this responsibility
Yes.
to these issues.
Yep.
Got to get a speech ready for the 27th to inspire my fellow counselors.
You'll help with that.
Yeah.
Well, and so, I'm sorry, Peter, but today you can reflect on the heat today.
That's so true.
And the rain last
Storms last week.
Yes.
If once Richard confirms that we're on the agenda for the 27th, again, you're all welcome to come. It's not unusual for committee members to come on
Yeah, come sit in the pews.
important dates.
Okay. And remind me, 5:30?
5, I believe.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Hopefully, I'm the top of the agenda. You're not sitting long, but yeah, 5 is when it starts.
if we have any say, we'll be first on the agenda.
Hopefully.
If you get pushed down
Yeah,
sometimes.
okay.
Anything else on that?
No,
topic?
that's
We
all I
go to the
have
next
really.
step.
That's all I have really. That's all I have really. So,
Right.
apart from feedback and the 27th, that's really it.
Reiterate Kate's comment. Thank you for doing them.
Yes.
It's been, I mean, thank us, we did what, 3 years? Has it been?
On the round table, any items that people would like to flag or draw our attention to? Sure, why not? For a change.
Really? So tomorrow, we are starting a virtual neighborhood concierge. It's just over the next 6 weeks. But if anybody wants to sign up, now's your opportunity. It's free. You learn about everything to do with taking care of greenhouse gases from your house, insulation and air sealing, heat pumps, solar, and there's amazing funding programs right now, like truly amazing. And so it's the one we're doing for the summer. It is virtual. Very easy to do.
How many sessions and how long is each session?
So thank you. I think it's 5:30, 7:30, I'm not sure. But when you sign up, you'll get that information. There's 2 hours each. And in that time, You talk a bit about your own house, the issues that you're wanting to change, that sort of thing. You hear from an expert speaker, and we are blessed with some of the top expert speakers in Ontario. And then you hear about the funding programs, and there's about, I lose track here, I think 3 right now. One is ending the end of or sometime in November, but we're expecting another one to come on. So, and these funding programs are sort of always changing a bit. So, is it the sessions? Not the concierge ones. Okay. No. We have on our YouTube site, we have a number of bigger workshops, speakers that we've had. Including the very last one we did, which was absolutely fabulous, on load displacement. And we have Annabella Bonato from the Intact Center at the University of Waterloo on resilience planning. She's another heat wave. She's basically saying, where we have historically had about 3 heat waves in the summer, we're now looking at 10. Virtually.
Yeah.
You pair our homes to take care of that, right? So it's a fabulous series, it really is. And participate. You talking with your neighbors.
No, I'm a big fan of the concierge. I haven't signed up, but I'm.
Now's your chance.
Wednesdays are brutal.
How many participants are you looking for?
Well, it's virtual, so we can take.
Okay.
This is the one for the summer, so sign up now.
So how many weeks?
6.
6 weeks, but 2 hours a week.
Free.
And there is
Yeah.
work. Yes.
But I should pay you.
With net benefits. Yes.
Yeah, well, that's
Oh,
it.
it's
The return.
huge. Yeah.
Very
So
good.
anyway.
Any other roundtable items?
So I have 2. Well,
Okay, Richard.
Peter has something, but I have 2.
Okay, Peter, please go ahead.
Yeah, and the Rideau Eco Literacy program is going on, and Smith Falls Public Library is one that is involved in it. We have so far 1 workshop delivered, and that is basically dealing with the wetlands and so on. So we are educating the next generation to be more aware of what nature can have and so on and so forth. But if you the timetable of the workshops are all listed in the different libraries, and if you have kids and so on, encourage them to attend. You will not be disappointed. Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Peter.
Okay.
Over to you, Richard.
Only 2 things. So one thing, the Smith Falls Police Service, they're having a strategic plan update, and Queen's University is doing it. So there's a survey that's out that you can answer and update their help their plan.
Completed my survey.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I'm sorry.
sorry. Yeah.
Can I ask that they switch to EVs, especially when they want to leave their vehicles running for
Right.
forever?
EVs would be better.
As a member of the Police Services Board for the last 12 years, we used that a number of times, and the challenge, I think, we were told anyway, is that there are hybrids available, hybrid Explorer company. Pure EVs adapted to, I guess, fit up for Ontario, Canada. There's nothing available today that would be appropriate. Yeah.
And standards,
So-
I guess.
Yeah, so I think it's coming. It's a matter of manufacturers designing for. The hybrid is progress.
This is good.
I mean, they don't have a lot of kilometers.
Yeah.
I see these poor guys in black on bicycles, and I was thinking, like, we gotta get these guys e-bikes. So, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's not greener than a regular bicycle, but it would be a kindness. Like, wow,
Would be,
it's
yeah.
really, really hot out.
And they're fast.
Mm.
You have another? You said you had a couple things?
Other one is a natural heritage system, but so Atlantic County, they're doing their natural heritage system right now. So you can follow a link and you can add these certain areas in town that you think are pretty interesting and novel from a natural heritage feature perspective. So
And I could add to that, they're asking now for people to report nature in their area, the forest, the wetland, whatever.
yes,
right?
yes.
And to submit it on their the website.
Yeah, so you click the link.
So that it gets mapped in the whole strategy.
Yeah, so that map is kind of what it would look like.
Just get that information that is presented.
As in ground proofed?
Yeah,
It's a-
proof.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, Peter. We're actually, so we sit on that.
Okay.
And we're looking at ground proofing wetlands in particular. Well, because actually in Lanark County, not all the wetlands are mapped.
Hmm.
They're just not defined, not known. So how do we, how do you manage what you don't measure, right? And so that's something.
So if a person had a favorite spot to watch the sunset, is that something they would put on
Yeah,
this?
it would. Like the Bastille Bridge, for example, that location.
Better one than that one.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be appropriate.
Yeah.
All right.
It's kind of random on the wildlife habitat thing. Last week, Sue shared a thing with wild cats and like all the different sightings of cougars from around the province, and it's
yeah.
like these and I'd never seen that group before that is actually like charting them and whatnot. But like there's been like a couple times when people shared trail cams that like very clearly show cougars, and then like either natural resources or other like government agencies basically like shot them down. I was like, there's no cougars in this part of Ontario. And then like
It's gonna hear a lot.
yeah, like last year, the OPP issued a warning in Smiths Falls that a cougar had been sighted, and I would like that's the first time I've ever seen like a police watch out for cougars thing, and I don't know how that like syncs up, but it would be kind of a cool thing if we could confirm that there's cougars in their area. Like it'd be like yeah.
Peter, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, talking about wetlands, the roundtable will be promoting awareness of wetland all through summer. As well, Nature Conservancy actually has a BioBliss that people can take place from their home backyard at home. So what I would do is I'm going to forward that info to Richard so that he can share with the group. Is that okay, Richard?
That's perfectly fine with me, Peter.
Great. Yeah.
Can I just add in the context of broader education, part of the reason that both the Roundtable and Climate Network Lanark are so focused on wetlands is because here in this area, Lanark County, Smiths Falls, and larger, we have some of the largest remaining wetlands in the whole of southern Ontario.
Untouched.
And they sequester carbon, so that's the main reason we're in there. But also they protect us against the extremes of climate change, against flooding, right? And so this is critical in terms of a climate action, absolutely critical.
Great. Thanks for bringing those forward.
Okay.
Seeing nothing else, I guess it will be at the call of the chair if we have enough agenda items, Rob.
Right.
So pencil it in, but we'll confirm at least a week ahead of time.
Yeah. Maybe have it off and we'll see sometime for who knows.
It might be September, depending on the what happens on the 27th.
Precisely.
There may be some action coming. I don't know.
Okay.
So we'll adjourn the meeting at whatever time it is.
2:40.
2:40. All in favor? Or